podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Blueberry.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
The Big G. Tokyo Town. StompDown.
Welcome to another edition of the Big G Tokyo Town StompDown. I'm Kim Brown.
I'm TC Kirkham. Going to be lots of fun as we
Yep.
head toward the 31st, which we didn't promote yesterday on the show.
No.
I feel bad. The reason we're doing the 31 Days of Godzilla is to bring you a primer on the character before the release of Godzilla, King of the Monsters from Legendary Entertainment, starring Millie Bobby Brown and a cast of thousands. It has actually... the first reviews have come out, and they are very good.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens when it comes out in 2 weeks, but about 10, 12, 11 days. It is May 21st, 2019, and we are up to the 21st movie in the Godzilla series, the 6th film in the Heisei series, in the incredibly messed up Heisei series. And
It does get
I
a little
admit
out
I
there.
have not seen this either. Kim has, so it's all hers. Godzilla versus SpaceGodzilla.
Yep.
Is he any relation to Prince of Space?
No.
Oh, well, just thought I'd ask. How about Space Ghost?
No.
Okay. Does he serve in the Space Force?
No.
Okay.
And before you make
Is there a lot of space between his ears?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say yes, because you seem to have a little bit of a disdain for this character.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the look of the character, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, what?
All right. This came out in 1994, and as we said, it's the 21st film in the series from December 10th, 1994, was released in America direct-to-DVD, direct-to-video. I don't know, that might be streaming, in 1999. So,
Okay. This is another film that if you are someone who is a real science purist,
oh God,
I'm sorry.
science.
I'm truly. I shouldn't say that because I shouldn't say that because goodness knows I'm not a science purist, but I'm pretty sure I'm sitting there.
We also don't like really bad pseudoscience. You need to make it sound good. At least they made it sound good in some of the 50s movies. I mean, the whole heart is a single cell crap from Amazing Colossal Man notwithstanding, but some of the other stuff was pretty logical.
Well, the thing is, if you have a lab coat and a serious expression, you can pretty much get anybody to believe your crap, you know.
Well, at least they don't do fifth grade science class in these movies.
Look at, case in point, the documentary Nuts. Anyway.
Oh, if you've never seen that, watch it. It's great. From director Penny Lane.
So the plot of this film is that some of Godzilla's cells were somehow transmitted into space.
Oh, dear God. Okay. No, they took some into space. Didn't they? At one point in one of the earlier movies?
Not into space,
Oh,
no.
okay.
But the fights that Godzilla has had with Biollante and Mothra caused some of their DNA and such, caused some of Godzilla's cells to appear in space.
Well, yeah, they were fighting. They probably fell off them as they flew through space. Mothra especially, because
Yeah.
you know.
And because of this and the exposure of these cells to radiation from a black hole,
Head desk.
Yes. We get the birth, we'll go with birth, creation, let's do that, of a new being called SpaceGodzilla.
And he makes his way through the billions and billions of stars as he heads toward planet Earth.
Thank you, Mr.
The
Sagan.
third planet from the sun in the solar system.
Thank you, Mr. Sagan. Anyway. So SpaceGodzilla is headed directly toward Earth.
How does he know how to get here? Is he honing in on Godzilla somehow?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, they've established there's like telepathic contact and all this stuff, so.
Yeah, and there's nothing at all. I mean, Godzilla in some of these movies is portrayed as sort of an anti-hero. There's nothing anti-heroic about SpaceGodzilla. His only reason for existing is pretty much. And on his way to Earth, he winds up completely crushing and wrecking a NASA space station. Naughty! So the people that are still part of the United Nations Godzilla Countermeasures Center,
at least the other one's more pronounceable.
Yeah.
Coming up.
They show up at a place that's called Birth Island, and their plan is that they're going to. They have a device that they are going to attempt to put on Godzilla, and they're going to attempt mind control on Godzilla.
Well, he's been susceptible to that before, but they kind of wiped out those movies.
They did wipe out those movies, A. And B, this is a terrible idea.
Well, yeah.
The Cosmos, or the Shobijin...
Why would they want to do that if he's not bothering them at the time? I mean, it's like...
To keep him from bothering them.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I guess.
It's all about you. Honestly, Japan.
Really.
Anyway.
The Cosmos, or the Shobijin, or the Twin Fairies, or the Peanuts, or however you want to call them, who are the twin priestesses of the goddess Mothra, the insect goddess Mothra. I don't know how to word this. They appear...
I'm going to refer to them as the Pink Ladies.
Don't. Stop that.
Why?
They appear to the young woman that we've seen in the other films, Mickey, who is a psychic, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
And they tell her that SpaceGodzilla has been created in the depths of space and is coming to Earth, and this is going to be a very big problem.
Run!
Pretty much. The JSDF has another mecha that they've created, which takes the place of the late unlamented Mechagodzilla. It's called Mogura, which stands for Mobile Operations G-Force Universal Expert Robot Aerotype.
Wow.
Breathe.
Okay. At least Mogura is easier to say.
Yes. A bunch of, yeah. So they send this thing into space to try and stop SpaceGodzilla before he can get here and wreck stuff. But it doesn't work as well as they wanted to, and it winds up being damaged. SpaceGodzilla makes it to Earth, makes it to Birth Island, and promptly attacks Little Godzilla, which was in the previous movie was Baby Godzilla.
So he's growing up.
So now he's growing up. Oh, they grow up so fast.
You did that joke
I'm so
already.
Proud.
Anyway.
And Godzilla tries to keep this from happening because, hey, it's a baby and we're related somehow, and stop being a dick.
Language?
But he's no match for SpaceGodzilla's power, and SpaceGodzilla winds up with this one of the powers that he does have, which I don't get how it works. He creates these crystals and winds up encasing Little Godzilla in basically a crystal trap kind of deal. And then after that, SpaceGodzilla's like, well, what do I do next? Oh yeah, attack Japan, because everybody does. So he heads off.
You'd think he could be a little bit more original.
You think
there are other island nations over there, like the Philippines and Micronesia, and, attack one of them. Why always Japan?
Yeah.
Attack Hong Kong.
Well, maybe, partially, probably because he's Godzilla's clone.
Oh, well, yeah, I
mean, so he's got Godzilla's brain, or at least memories of Godzilla.
Well, he's not really his clone. He just kind of, I suppose he is in that way.
Well, what is a clone? Is it something that's grown from the
grown
cells
from
of something else?
True.
So,
That's
boom.
true. I just, yeah.
So he's
I usually think of clones grown in a lab rather than in space.
Well, not in a black hole, because that's, ridiculous.
Not in a black hole, from radiation of a black hole.
From a black hole. Which, wouldn't that mean he would get sucked into the black hole?
I would think so.
You would think so, wouldn't you? But then we'd have a very short movie. So SpaceGodzilla heads off to Japan, and Godzilla's like, well, wait a minute, get back here. And he chases after him. So now we get the human portion of the movie, which
we get the ridiculous human portion of the movie.
Let's face it, nobody cares about.
Kim's all about the monsters.
I'm all about the kaiju. I don't care about the humans.
Unless they're short pants kids, and then we can stomp them.
I'm sorry. I'm selfish that way. I just want to see monsters.
Thankfully, there aren't that many
bashing
in these
stuff,
movies.
And that's it. So Mickey winds up getting kidnapped by the Yakuza because...
Of course she does.
Because there weren't any ninjas available? I don't know. They wind up bringing her to their location in Fukuoka, and they want her to use her powers so they can have control over Godzilla.
I think it's Fukuoka.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yep.
She winds up being rescued by a team sent in to get her out.
Yeah, you remember from
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Wow.
Before SpaceGodzilla makes it there. SpaceGodzilla winds up landing in downtown Fukuoka, and because he's got these huge crystals growing out of his back, and he can apparently just make these things grow wherever he wants, and he creates this huge palace. I don't know what else you'd call it. Think of that scene in Frozen. Only not that pretty. When Anna's,
like living
when
crystals.
Elsa's doing the whole "Let It Go" thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's basically that. Mogura shows up and tries to fight SpaceGodzilla because it worked out so well the first time, and it has the same thing happen again in that it's a complete and utter rout. Godzilla winds up showing up at Kagoshima Bay and winds up fighting with SpaceGodzilla, and that doesn't work out really well either because SpaceGodzilla kicks Godzilla's butt. The JSDF finds out that SpaceGodzilla is using a tower in the area, the Fukuoka Tower, as a he's using it to convert energy. He's converting the Earth's core into energy so he can take it into himself, which will be very bad for the rest of us.
Now, you see, this is what's wrong with Japan, building giant Eiffel Tower type structures as power sources, as these big, transmission towers and stuff. Look at what you've done now. You should have left the Eiffel Tower constructions to the Eiffels over in France, because they're all over Japan. It's like, okay, what?
So Godzilla, who's hurt but not out of the picture and is now incredibly pissed off, winds up fighting with SpaceGodzilla, and Mogura, who is damaged but not out of the fight, winds up breaking off into two different mecha units. The Star Falcon, which is a battleship, and the Land Mogura, which is a tank that has this big drill at the front. Oh, there's so many jokes I could make about that.
I know, me too. I'm going to hold back. It is a family show.
Anyway. And I will get yelled at. And I know this, so I'm not going to do it. So the two Star Falcon and Land Mogura go at the Crystal Fortress, trying to get through it and break it apart and stuff like that. Godzilla winds up shoving Fukuoka Tower over, which causes the conversion to stop, and it cuts off the energy supply to SpaceGodzilla and also keeps the planet from, dying. Mogura changes back and winds up blowing off one of SpaceGodzilla's spikes. He's got these big crystal spikes on his shoulders. I mean, it looks kind of nifty, although I'm sure it was a bitch and a half for the person stuck in the suit. And that winds up weakening SpaceGodzilla. So apparently most of his power seems to be located in these big crystals sticking out of his shoulders and kind of running down his back. SpaceGodzilla winds up damaging Mogura some more, but winds up being completely incinerated because Godzilla's heat ray is now charged up, and he's like, "Oh, you are so screwed now.
You're just toast."
Yeah.
Actually, you're crumbs.
Space Godzilla winds up being, blasted to atoms.
Dusted.
And instead of everybody being like, phew, thank goodness it's over or something like that, the JSDF are concerned that their whole thing is that, we as a species, we screw up our own planet and then we send stuff out into space,
But they didn't. That was all Mothra and the other dudes doing.
Well, their whole thing is they're worried that this could happen again.
Right.
Godzilla manages to get back to Birth Island because Mickey uses her powers to get because he had that mind control thing still on his neck.
When did they put it on his neck? They hadn't had a chance to do it.
Apparently at some point they did.
Yeah.
And he actually turns and looks at her. I mean, looks at her. It's not looking in her general direction. He's looking at her. And actually does a little head nod. So, obviously Godzilla is not just some big dumb brute that everybody else seems to think that he is. The little Godzilla winds up being released from this prison that he's in, and he apparently now has a breath weapon as well. Granted, it's not exactly as impressive as Godzilla's because it's not this big blast of energy. It's these little bubbles, and they're radioactive. And get it out of your system.
Tiny bubbles. In something. In the wine doesn't work here.
No.
In the wine, WHINE might. I don't know what little Godzilla sounds like because I haven't seen this. So.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So,
okay.
I have to be honest.
Oh, please.
The look of Space Godzilla, I actually like it. I know some people think it's stupid,
It's freaky looking.
Huh?
It's freaky looking.
It is freaky looking.
Not bad looking, just freaky looking.
And he actually looks extremely malevolent. You get nothing from this creature that you could think could be reasoned with or anything like that. It's just pure, I want to wreck stuff. And I think that that's a really interesting take. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the story, I'm just kind of like, all right, did we really need to bring in why did we have to have the kidnapping subplot? And I don't get it. I'm just, it's just
They had
weird.
to give her something to do.
I guess.
She needed something to do.
Oh, boy. Anyway. So.
I gotta say, the bubbles are better than the smoke rings for Little Godzilla.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this is
that one
basically a
goes
media
without saying,
reincarnation,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. You obviously don't remember when they put the collar thingy on it.
No, I don't.
How they actually got it on him. Because it doesn't ring it up in the description I was reading. And you didn't seem to pull it out of your head either, so.
No.
I wonder when they actually got that on him. Okay, anyway. These are just out there. And I mean, I am not the huge G fan that Kim is. I've gotten into them knowing her over the course of our long, wonderful time together. But I'm still not
weird time together.
I'm not a huge fan of some of them.
No.
Because they're just stupid. I can't stand sitting through King Kong versus Godzilla. I hate that movie. Or King Kong, as Gene Rayburn would say. Anyway, I don't think I could stand this one. I really don't. I'm like, this is just like, what? Not quite as bad as some of the other ones, maybe?
No.
But the one that was really well received by the fandom out there is the one that is yet to come. It is the final film in the Heisei series, and we will tackle that on tomorrow's show. It is a film that the first time Kim watched it, and I mean, she watched it from beginning to end, the first time she saw it when it was on cable. I was in the other room with the fan on and my headset on, and I could still hear her crying at the end of the film.
Yep.
Tomorrow, when is that, 1999? 1995's Godzilla vs. Destroyer, which is one of the most popular Godzilla films of all time, and also one of the most critically acclaimed, if I remember right. And I still would want to see that. It is the final film in the Heisei period, and we will have that for you tomorrow.
Yep.
We hope that you will enjoy this. We hope you'll send this show out to your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, wherever you hang out with people. Post us on Pinterest, whatever you want to do. Because the more people hear our show, hey, the better we are, and the better we love it. And we hope that you'll pass that along. We hope you'll check us out every day on Twitter. Kim is Platinum Rose L. I am eCinemaOne and eCinemaBoston. And I do usually most of the stuff on the Boston ID. And we also hope that you'll come over and become a Patreon member. $5 a month. It starts at $2 a month, but at $5 a month gets you all our free special podcasts, including Kim's Kaiju Corner show and a lot of other perks as you go up the list. And we hope you'll join us because, let's face it, the more we can make from our Patreon subscribers and members, the more we can do for you. And that's always a good thing. Mutual benefit for everybody.
Yep.
And that's at patreon.com/PNRNetworks. You can also write to us about this or anything other what we do anytime at subjectcinema@PNRNetworks.com.
Yep. And so for another edition of the Big G Tokyo StompDown, I'm Kim Brown.
I'm TC Kirkham. It's Tokyo Town StompDown.
Tokyo Town StompDown.
Although in this case it was Kyoto, wasn't it? No, it was a different town.
Yeah. But we definitely hope you'll come back tomorrow for more Kaiju Mayhem.
And we'll be here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Big G Tokyo Town StompDown from Subject Cinema, Kaiju Corner at eCinemaOne.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.